Hey Corvette peeps, coming to you from the garage here today. It's been a minute since I've done any videos or anything like that. It's been pretty busy. Been getting a lot done on the C3 project, and I got some video for that, and I'll get those posted soon. But this one is for all the C4 guys. I read in the forums and the different C4 chat groups and social media groups on Facebook about all the problems that you have with your C4 electrical gremlins. I gotta tell you, most of the C4 work that is done is about chasing ghosts. And what I mean by that is you get codes, you read your code, you put your jumper wire into the OBD port, and you see a code 33. Oh, map sensor, or 32 or whatever. And you start chasing that. And the whole time you've done nothing about your grounds. The ground on this car has got to be perfect. It will jack with everything else that's in it. Case in point, went to Corvette, the Corvette event up in Bastrop, Corvette Invasion. Great show, a lot of cars, a lot of vets, got a lot of compliments on Envy, won an award, everything was cool. After the event was over, I drove her back to the hotel, and she bucked on me. And it was hot that day, and you know, there's a couple of things I started thinking, oh well, maybe there's something wrong with the fuel pump, maybe something, and the fuel pump's been changed, maybe something's wrong with, you know, map sensor or something. And so started down this rabbit hole and looking at all kinds of things. Almost started breaking my rule about looking at the most inexpensive thing first. Almost broke my rule. But then I was like, got to take a look at the simple. And so all of those things, what do they have? Common denominator. You put it on a whiteboard, and you put each component on whiteboard, and you start writing out with a little graph, this is my teaching part, you know, a little spider graph with circles, and you start saying, okay, what are the common components of all of these things? Electrical. They all have electricity. They all have plugs. Well, they all need 12 volts, or, you know, the voltage from the battery, but they also need to complete the circuit. Remember, this is a fiberglass car. To complete the circuit, it has to have a full loop to ground. And if that's not very good, you're going to have problems. So let's get to this one, and let me show you what I'm talking about as far as NV goes. So looking at the car, I put a smog delete on the car last year. And when you do a smog delete, down there underneath the alternator, there's a bracket that attaches to the alternator housing, and then continues on to the manifold, the exhaust manifold. The alternator actually pitches up a little higher, and so that bracket completes that ground. Most people don't realize this. Okay, when you take and you do something like this, you've got to complete that ground. So what I've done is, you can see my ground right there. Oops, alt wire came out of my loom here. Anyway, there's my ground wire. Okay, I actually got a battery cable wire, about a foot long from AutoZone, and I put it in, mounted it to the alternator housing, routed it right to that bolt. Okay, because that's where the bracket went to in the first place. Actually, it went to that one. I switched those around. I took that bolt from there and moved it to there. And so that completes our ground. But the thing about these alternators, especially these remanufactured ones, okay, it's a Delco, but it's painted. That housing, they paint that sucker. And most people don't realize if you don't clean that housing off, and I mean, I take this guy right here, this dude, lifesaver. That sucker will strip anything off of metal real quick. And so I polished that surface. I polished the ends of the cable, and I polished the bolt. I took the bolt, put it on the bench grinder with my wire wheel, and polished it. They are literally polished surfaces. Did the same thing with that nut and bolt. Cleaned that up, polished it up. Before I did that one, I did these guys. Make sure your battery connections are clean, clean, clean. Okay? There's going to be guys in here and they're going to comment and they're going to tell me I'm full of shit. Well, they can go F themselves. Okay? Don't put dielectric grease on these. Not on a Corvette. Okay? Metal to metal, baby. Nothing in between. Okay? Not going to hurt anything. So, no dielectric grease. Dielectric grease will gather dirt, and it will start to harden, and it'll crust over, and before you know it, you've got this slime in between the metal contacts. So make sure you're not doing that. Okay? It doesn't do anything. All right? People use dielectric grease. Oh, you got to use it to prevent spark. Well, if your grounds are good and you connect that battery cable, you won't have a spark. If you're having spark when you connect your negative, you got a problem. Fix it. And it's a ground problem. Okay? Don't take my word for it. It's, 34-year-old car, 65,000 miles, runs like a bat out of hell. Okay? That little motor right there, it runs as designed, and it's quite potent. Okay? It'll knock you back in the seat. It'll light the tires on fire. I can do a wheel stand with the best of them. It's an automatic, so can't have manual transmission fun, but you get the idea. All right, so take care of those grounds, and this thing will take care of you. And a lot of your electrical gremlins, they'll rectify themselves, because that ECM right there, it's not bad. Okay, it takes care of a lot of things very quickly in short order, and if everything is normal, you're going to be good. So, quick public service announcement. I'm going to post this on the site. I think some guys will benefit from it. Before you start chasing all the gremlins, take care of that ground issue and polish it up. Literally, something like that. Okay, and run that on that surface, and it'll polish it up. It'll look like it's polished. And if it's polished, it's solid contact. So make sure you're taking care of that, because these cars need it. Where I kind of learned that with this car was during the radio installation. There was a ground issue that it kept messing with the amplifier turning on. It kept turning off. It didn't like something, so the safety system inside the amplifier just kept shutting off. It was a ground, and we fixed that ground, and everything went away. And so, yeah, take care of your grounds. Carl will take care of you. All right, that's all I got. I'll post this soon, and peace out.